So this is it. When you're out of school, all right, when you are fresh out of school, you need a way to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And the first set of jobs that you probably will get will be low pay, unskilled jobs.
Yeah.
Most people would feel that you shouldn't take it. I would advise that as much as possible, so that so that you can fight what was it called now? So that you can
Fight depression.
fight depression. Exactly. Pick the first job.
Why are you touching the what?
Fight Darkpore.
Okay, so that you can fight poverty. But pick the first job. Okay, and
Even if it's low paying.
Even if it's low paying, for a reason. Yeah,
For a while.
for a while. I'm not giving you counsel I've not followed. All right. I remember fresh out of school. The first job I got fresh out of school, the very, very first job I got fresh out of school, I had to work, I think it was 7 to 11, Mondays to Saturdays. Sundays, I would resume 12. And the pay was, in fact, it was so bad that when I asked the man how much he's going to pay me, he couldn't tell me. So he just wrote it on a piece of paper and did like this. So I looked at it. But it did something. The place was about a 30-minute walk from my father's house at that time. Okay? And so I would walk to and fro. I picked the job and I showed up. I was as polite and every single thing. And I worked there for 3 months. And the pay I was able to use that to at least buy the first set of clothes or so. They were not brand new clothes, but you need to be able to, because the problem with most things is that people fall into cycles of inertia. So if, for example, someone goes for a particular job, he picks the job is the pay is terrible. He turns the job down. He keeps turning jobs down. Whereas it's easier for you to get a job when you already have one.
Yeah.
Because when you're going for the interview and all that, you're telling the person, it tells a lot for you to be able to tell people that at least I was able to hold down a job. Do you understand? So it's easier. People don't want to hire someone fresh from scratch or whatever. Most people don't want to. And so it serves and also helps you. It helps you in dealing with your family. Because if you have a mother or a father who tells you that you are done with school now, what next and all that, and then you're sitting at home, you're going on Instagram or WhatsApp and you're seeing people's constant status updates. So at least having cash flowing and all that, then also you can use that opportunity to apply for new jobs. You go for interviews, you go for job interviews and all that. You get to meet people. In fact, a lot of people will tell you that they meet the connections for their new jobs while doing their old roles. Again, I've had that issue too. There was a particular job in which I got, and someone where I worked there and all that recommended me for a different position. So I think it's important that people do not get locked, because once you're out of school and you spend like 4 or 5 years post-graduation, and you've not gotten...
Just spend that now.
Why do you say
4 or 5 years?
Look like go wash your head.
Baba.
Do you watch exactly?
This stuff we are saying,
4 or 5 years.
it's not...
I can't believe that for 5 years they didn't get a single offer.
I'm pretty sure maybe they didn't get their dream job or
I
something.
don't think you are
We
being
dreamed
practical.
they must have gotten an offer.
No, I think anybody that wants to work and is desperate to
We
work,
see work now.
will get a job.
How is it for 5 years without getting? He won't be out of
Even-
shop.
even if not
Maybe you
cleaner.
have not gotten your dream
Maybe
job.
it's not like the job that you want to work in. No.
Yes, now.
Oji,
No,
you
no,
say
but-
job day, like if you just do like part-time trips now, like
You can
but-
be a teacher now. That's a job now.
Exactly. Teaching job, they find out for my area. You see, I'm 10K, 15K.
That's very exactly.
I know, like tell you, bro. Maybe area 27.
No. It doesn't happen in my area.
Is that your area?
But I'm surprised.
No, it's not possible
It's not possible.
for somebody to graduate
4 or 5 years without
University
getting a
or
single offer.
Polytechnic for 4 or 5 years. That gets a single
Would
offer.
I get a
The
job
person-
offer?
Yes,
Yes,
the person
except-
does not want to work. That's what I would say.
Okay, I know a friend that he said he doesn't apply for jobs.
Yes.
He doesn't have a job. And the guy wants a job, doesn't apply for a job. It was that I was thinking, I was like,
He has connections, Abby.
Really get a job when he's not applying.
but I don't, it's my friend. If possible,
Miracle
if
worker.
possible, he watches this podcast.
Okay.
Then I asked him that, okay, said it, I asked him where I didn't say, even with he said that border. Okay, then I asked him, have you seen today? He said he has eaten. And I asked him, how much do you have? He said he has some money. And I asked him, you are going to take you, maybe? He said yes. I said, that's why you can't apply for jobs.
Okay.
Yes, now
Because
guys
anybody
still
that
eating.
is Nigeria market.
And I asked him a question. I asked him, this might sound unrelated, but actually it's my work. I asked him, do you have a girlfriend? He said no. I said, well, that's why I can't get a job. Because it's an unpopular opinion. if you have a girlfriend, there's a bit, not everyone, but there's a bit of demand in it.
You drive in to get
You get a job now.
Why?
I'm
You get a job to meet the bills.
To meet the gay friends.
Yes, now, for example, if you have a bachelor and a married man of the same age, and some of them lose their job, you know that married man probably gets a job faster than that bachelor.
Actually, desperation.
Yes, now, because you are you can't even sleep well. You can't even sleep for 5 hours. Doing what? You are sleeping by 8 o'clock.
What I go do on
Yes,
LinkedIn? And now I go to sleep.
Exactly. So
Simon is got a keep.
exactly. So I advise young men to.
Okay, so
Unless I'm going to have children.
no. I'm not
I
advising
see-
you.
see.
You are entering into
No,
dangerous territory.
no, please don't do it.
I that I have children,
Yeah,
I'm not advising young
To
men
have children.
to have children without getting a job.
No, I can't advise someone. I'm not saying that, please. I can never say that. No, I'm just saying.
But on a serious note now, there are people, I know it sounds hard to believe, all right? But there are people who find it hard to get jobs, okay? And I'll tell you why, all right? Some people come from communities where once they graduate from school, if they return back to the communities they come from, the jobs there, the job offers there are terrible.
Okay, yeah.
I knew people, at least, and please, if there's anybody who's from Cross River, they should let me know. I am aware that in Cross River State, there are people, there are jobs that the entire job for the entire month is probably 10,000. That's the salary.
Is he a,
Actually,
Teaching jobs.
even Ocean
is
State.
he
It's
for
a job.
or BSU or for SSC?
Oji.
BSc is an advantage.
Oji, in Ocean State,
No,
Oji,
these are
my
those
cousin,
jobs are SSC
yeah, my
jobs.
cousin, like, he has like guy from like Polytechnic, like ND. He's working at the boutique, like I don't even say his manager because once the boss leaves, he's the one that handles everything from Monday to Friday.
I
to
think I
Saturday.
will advise young
Bro,
men if you
his
know
salary,
that.
you know, it 15K per month.
Wow.
It's not 15K.
So you say
But
what?
it's
You
a
think
job.
you advise
I
young
advise young men. Okay, you're going from a place like that you mentioned.
you advise him to leave.
Why even going back in the first place?
Okay, so so that takes us to the next thing. It's easy for you to say why should you go back, but you also realize that unless you have family living
Yeah.
in the place that you trained or the school that you trained there,
You cannot easily go.
it's,
You
it's
most likely go back.
there are bills you have to
No,
cover.
I have 2 friends that did it. They didn't go back.
Two jobs.
They didn't go back. I have to.
community,
Yeah, I'm not speaking theory. I have 2 friends that did it. They didn't go back.
You're
Even
talking about-
when we graduated.
You're talking about you're talking about youth service or
No. Immediately you finish undergrad, we graduated, we go to our final exam. They didn't go back home because the guy knows that
they
there's
stayed
nothing at
back
home.
in Yaba.
They stayed back in wherever they were
Akoka.
staying in school. So some of them had to stay an extra semester with some students. They put money together, probably to rent a place. Do you get?
They didn't
Do you
go
know what
home.
kind of? Because what are you going to do at home?
Miss Mr. Oji, you're speaking from the perspective of somebody who trained in Lagos.
Yes, that's it. If someone is trading
Actually.
in Unsuka, for
Me,
example.
I'm not speaking for
And it
myself. I'm
comes
speaking from
to
somewhere.
Lagos.
You're
No,
talking about
they
University
went
of
to school in-
Lagos.
Unsuka.
Okay, I
That's the
can.
University of Nigeria. Unsuka.
Listen,
Lagos
let's
can.
Okay.
Unsuka.
No, I'm
it's
speaking
not
in the
Lagos.
village. I'm speaking in the village.
No, Unsuka
let's-
is
can
a
we
university
allow him
town.
to speak? Yeah.
Unsuka is a university town, for example.
Uh-huh.
If you went to university there, perhaps from one village in Enugu or something, it's almost a confusing situation because the only thing in Unsuka is just the university. That's all.
Oh, okay, the town too
They
is
are
not.
There are not too much opportunities.
It's
there now.
majorly a civil. You haven't
Most
worked.
I'm not
in-
speaking.
actually
Okay,
civil
Of
service
course,
states.
This is Lagos.
okay, I don't have an
Yeah,
idea.
even
about
Ilorin, apart from Ilorin and some universities there, bro, that place is just dead.
Okay, I served in Casino. I think I can really. Okay,
can, yeah.
I think the only experience that I had that relates to was when I was serving in Casino.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
if
understand?
if you
See,
serve
Lagos boy.
if you served in Katsina, once you are now done in Katsina, then what happens?
City boy.
That's why I'm in Lagos now. That's what happened.
Okay, so
So advice.
Mr.
Run
Oji,
from Lagos.
Mr. Oji, we cannot, like, I will repeat again. People who are going to watch this, we can't be unfair to them.
Yeah.
We have to be able to give them practical advice where they are.
Okay, if they are there,
You can't be telling someone that, well, if you don't have a home, if you are homeless, buy a house.
yeah.
Or if you are
Go build a
hungry,
house.
if you are hungry, eat
Eat
cake.
food.
It's not.
Eat cake, yeah.
That's not the. We can't give them that kind of advice. We have to be practical. There are people who cannot go back home because the jobs they will get back home probably would pay them 8,000 or 10,000.
So what should they do?
All right, and those people also, if they stay back in wherever in school, they will have to rack up bills.
Bills in okay.
bills and the rest,
Accommodation,
accommodation and the rest.
feeding and all
So
that.
we're talking to those guys. So we're talking to those guys. And we're talking to men, young men, because young men have something which young ladies have something which young men necessarily don't.
Yeah, sure.
A young lady probably may be able to get a boyfriend who is working,
Yeah,
who may
possible.
be able to help out,
Older
or
than
uncle
her,
older
so-
than her and all that. All right, we've done podcasts. There was a podcast we did in which the ladies were talking about having dating guys who were already working. So right now, we're talking to young men. The man is out of school. The young man is graduated from school, all right, and he doesn't have a job, and he has been applying. So, what do we ask that man to do? What I would advise them to do is any job, ridiculous at all, pick that job and zero your mind. You may have to do it for the next 3 to 6 months and save as much as possible.
Then after saving.
To save as much as, because you need money. Because finding a job is a full-time job.
Okay, assuming let's practical. Okay, if the guy is earning 20 grand, let's assume he manages to save 10K. Now, after
Are you sure?
I'm
With the
just
transport.
Okay,
Unless
I'm
he
just
has
saying,
to, like
that's how
boycott some things.
that's how I'm
Let's
just
say
saying.
boycotting other things.
let me just say he's
Saves
trying
10,000.
to save half of the salary, sha.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming it's very ridiculous. Let's say he's saving 10, he's earning 20, saving 10. Now, let's assume the guy does that stuff for 6 months, like you said. That's 60K. What do you advise the guy to do with the 60K? Is it to move out of that place?
No, I won't advise the guy to move out of the place. But I will tell him that whether I like you or not, he needs to have you need tools to be able to apply for jobs. You need internet access.
Yes.
Right? You need to be able to transport yourself to job interviews.
Yeah.
You need at least one piece of clothing
Yeah.
that you keep
Interview
aside
worthy.
somewhere, interview worthy.
Oh, dear.
For a long time, for a long, you're laughing. It sounds
I
ridiculous.
get what you're saying.
People have to follow process. Not everybody is going to start with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you're going to start out with your first set of tools, and your first set of tools will build the next set.
Yeah.
Okay. For a long time in my wardrobe and all that, I had one particular suit. I always had a suit that was brand new, that I never worn. I just kept there. All right, and I will only wear that suit when I probably had to do maybe a product pitch or pitch for a project and all that. A lot of times, we've done stuff. I think there was a young man who came for a particular interview, if you recall, that came in native or so.
I remember.
And I think came with not bedroom slippers also, or leather, one funny.
I remember the guy.
Remember the guy? And all. So, and unfortunately, jobs, they tend to be very, very competitive in the sense that because there are lots of people who are graduating and there are few opportunities, few shots. So whatever it is, whatever job the person gets, just get the first job out the door and save as much as you can. If your job affords you internet access, or if you find a place in which you can either borrow data or get free Wi-Fi to apply for the person, you just take it. Because the first thing in the first 6 months to 1 year, all right, is to get a job that will afford you some form of breathing space. And you need to get your first job to get that. Okay, that's one.
Yeah, that's one. Like,
Secondly, if you get a job, second also is also even if it's not stated, look for opportunities for training within the job, within the role. People, okay, and I'll give practical examples. So, for example, let's assume the person lands a job in a grocery store, maybe somewhere like a Grand Square or Grocery Bazaar,
yeah, like a mall.
like a mall or whatever. A person should as much as possible try to get himself posted to the bakery.
Why?
Why? Because learning to bake or
It's
learning how
better,
to work bakery tools and all that will take you out of manual work. Because usually what happens is this, the very first jobs that people have, you are competing with people who have not gone to, who don't have tertiary education. And the disadvantage you have is they probably have been doing the job longer than you. So they have more experience
In that job.
in that job than you, despite your tertiary education.